Yo, what's going on, everybody out there in the social media world? It's your boy, One Pop Star. I'm coming to you straight from BP Barbershop. Right now, we're going to be doing a little demo with Khazmoz. We're working with Khazmoz exclusively, showing you how to do what you do in the barber game. Now remember, you can always book me on Khazmoz at www.khazmoz.com. We got a tutorial out with my boy, Talk New York, and we're going to show you this light taper. Check it out and tell me what you think. Hit me up in the bio.
So we're going to start off with a simple brush. Just brush the hair all around. Make sure everything is laid down nice and smooth. See where your waves are at. See where some of the partitions are as far as swirls or whirlpools in the back. And from that point, take everything down, make it even. I like to come across with a 000 and just flatten out all the hair with the walls, and that's just to make sure that I see every piece of hair exactly where it's at. And from that point, after everything is laid down, I go straight into the taper. Now, as you can see, I don't start my tapers with a hard 3-0 or 5-0 line, or the line is to create a line and then fade. I go from the darkest point and then I come down. So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for any bulk within where the hair is the darkest. And that's just a technique of mine. I don't like to see the lines, and oftentimes, depending on what type of hair it is, lines are really, really hard to get out. So I'm not going from light to dark, I'm going from dark to light. So this haircut, his hair is pretty low already. He has a 1A on the top. So basically I'm using a 00 guard all the way closed, just knocking weight off. I knock the weight off and I fade, temple fade all the way out. I use a 3-0 when I get to the bottom. So, everybody knows the progressions for fading and, temp fades and everything like that. I'm just showing you that I don't start off with a hard line. I use the guards. I go from dark to light, not light to dark. Something I've been doing for a while, and it works really, really well. I also given him an enhancement. The enhancement itself, I apply with an airbrush. It's something that I use, something that's really cool, a little less mess, less fuss. I use, squeeze bottles to house the color. I make my own color. This is a Kiss color. I'm spraying the color all throughout his hair also. I'm not just going along the line. He had a really strong do-rag line in the back because he likes, to rock the fade look, temper fade look, and he likes the waves on the top. So he had a little line in the back, but that is all curable with a little enhancement, a little bit of color. I go into the line itself. As you can see, I do not take away big bulks of hair when lining up. I try to keep all my lines as natural as possible, as straight as possible, without pushing anybody back. I'm a New York barber. When I grew up as a child, if you push somebody's line back, you would get beat up. That's a fact. So for all you out there that are watching a lot of YouTube videos and you see barbers go in with an aggressive line as far as lining up a client, I just don't suggest that you do that. Oftentimes also too, with older gentlemen, once you repeat a pattern like that, it will just basically take his hairline away. All men, after a certain point in time, we lose percentage of our hair. Some people go totally bald, but everyone starts to thin. I know I do, and this is something that I'm very, very conscious of. So when I'm lining up anyone, I take as much time as possible and I also keep the line as natural and as close to the forehead as possible. I don't want anyone's lines going past their eyebrows, nor do I want their points to be too short. And these are all direct results from too aggressively going in on the line. And as you can see, his line is super sharp. It's not totally like straight, but to the eye, it's very straight. And I never have any problems or any complaints. And most of my clients, honestly, they prefer that I do it in this manner because it just preserves a man, you know. I know a lot of barbers, even famous barbers, you know, I see tutorials and stuff and they're aggressively just going in and taking out huge bulks of hair away from people's front line, you know. And that might be cool for little kids that, you know, hair grow really fast and that hairline isn't really affected by it. But as you get older, you lose hair follicles. It's just what it is. There's a little percentage of thinning that goes on with every man, regardless if they're totally bald or they seem to have a full head of hair. I use the darkest brown because I feel like for the enhancement, it absorbs naturally. As you can see throughout the video, as time goes on, the enhancement, it just seems like it just blends in nicely. At the point in which we're getting to now, I'm kind of finishing up the main part of the cut. So what I use is any 3-0, anything totally closed. And this technique that I'm doing right now is just basically taking all the loose hairs off. And if you peep right there, it looks like his hair is just totally uniform all the way around. You're starting to see the absorption of the color with the enhancement. It looks really good. This gentleman has extremely sensitive skin in certain areas. So the bevels, I've learned when lining him up, because he can't take a razor on his face, is usually the best way to go. There's no scarring and there's no irritation. Sometimes when I line him up with other liners, even though he might not be scarred, there's a bit of irritation and redness. So I use the bevels, line him up, make sure everything is nice and crisp. He's the dude that likes a nice natural line inside. And from there, that's the finished product. He's ready to go.